Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Dee, aka The Messy Perfectionist, and on my channel I like to have real talk. I share inspirational and personal growth life tips and more. Today is my 3-month post-op update. I will be sharing with you guys the progress that I've made in regards to weight loss and the inches that I've lost on my body. I'm going to also be sharing what my week looks like in regards to food intake and body movement. I'll also share some of my health and other challenges that I've come across and what's next for me going forward. So if all of that sounds interesting to you, please stay tuned. So before we get started, I just want to talk about my hair for a minute. If you guys have been following along, you've probably seen my hair go through a few different shades of color as it is. I do tend to like to change my hair color quite frequently. Right now, it's this kind of gray silver thing going on, and that was not intentional. I went ahead and tried to do some natural color removing with baking soda and dandruff shampoo and vitamin C, which I've done in the past. And after multiple washes of that, then I went ahead and used Color Oops. Oh my God, I can't talk. Color Oops. And to take out the permanent dye. And after rinsing in the shower and washing for 25 minutes, yes, that's correct. The box says to do it for 20 minutes, and I went an extra 5. So yeah, that was fun. But I ended up with this, and I treated it with conditioner and I blow dry it. And I kind of looked in the mirror and I was like, kind of dig it for now. So my plans were to color my hair over and maybe add some highlights over that. But I think I'm just going to kind of rock the silver for now. So let me know what you guys think. If you think I can get away with rocking this silver locks for a little while, or, does it age me another 10 or 15 years? Because I do not want to do that. But now that we have gotten that out of the way, I will go ahead and start talking about the content that this video was intended for, which is my 3-month post-op update. And we'll go ahead and start with my weight loss progress. So in the last month, I've lost 10 pounds. So that brings me down to a total of 46-pound weight loss. So from my highest weight to now, I am down 46 pounds. If you guys watched my last video, my 2-month post-op update, I'll go ahead and link it up here if you haven't watched and you are curious. Anyway, I had a stall, and so I would say that it's interesting because that 10-pound weight loss came off only in like the last 2 weeks. What's impressive also is the inches that I've lost. So in the last month, I lost a total of 2 inches off of my waist, 1 inch off of my hips and my thighs. I didn't lose anything off of my biceps. I lost 1/2 inch off of my chest, and I didn't lose anything in my neck. So for all time to date, along with my 46-pound weight loss, I have lost a total of 8 inches off of my waist, 7 inches off of my hips, 3 inches off of my thighs, 3 inches off of my biceps, 5 inches off of my chest, and 2.5 inches off of my neck. So that is super impressive to me. I'm definitely starting to notice it. I would say today was like one of the first times that I actually looked at myself in the mirror. And then I also had my husband take some pictures of me, and I'll go ahead and see if I can put a picture of like a before and after, more like a before and current picture up there. So I think the before picture was taken right before my surgery, like the day before. And then the after, I should say current picture was taken today by my husband. And I really could see the difference there. Also, if you watched my last video, the audio and the video quality was terrible. I'm just going to give you a heads up. If you are interested, I'll go ahead and put a card up here. Here. I can never tell what side it's going to be on because you have to add it after. But I cleaned out my closet, and that was not just an organization thing for me, but it felt really good because there were things that I couldn't fit into previously in a long time that fit now. And I also got rid of a lot of clothing. So that was kind of exciting. And it's also funny how your mind is around that, because there was a few things, particularly if you watch the video, I have a denim jacket, and I looked at that denim jacket and I was like, there's no way, in my mind, I'm like, there's no way that this jacket is going to fit me now at this time. And it did. I mean, I couldn't button it, but I could definitely wear it and get away with wearing it, you know, out and about, so and not look like I'm trying to squeeze into it. So that was exciting. I've really been trying to be very grateful for the progress that I've made so far, even though I may not always see it or feel it, or if the scale is not moving as fast as I want it to. Really just trying to be grateful for my body working the way it is. I feel pretty good, pretty well adjusted to eating. I will say, if I eat too fast, my stomach is very uncomfortable. If I eat a bite or two too much for my stomach to handle, I'm very uncomfortable. I do experience nausea sometimes, but it's not all the time. I'm really trying to focus on eating healthfully and not eliminating complete food groups, because I spent enough time of my life doing that, and you know, my whole life, and especially the last 10 or 15 years, and it takes a long time for your body to readjust when you eliminate entire food groups. So my focus has been, as I've stated before, to eat healthfully, and I actually just posted a video about how to eat healthfully on a regular basis. You can check that out if you have not. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about now is my food intake in general for a typical week or day. What I usually do in the morning is have my cup of decaf coffee. I add my 2 scoops of Vital Proteins, collagen protein to that, and I think that's 20 grams of protein. Let me see if yeah, it's 70 calories and 20 grams of protein. My lunch will vary. I typically will have lunch in the later afternoon, maybe about 1 or 2. And that changes daily, but a lot of times when I work out, I do make sure I have my protein after my workout. So I will have half an English muffin and I will have an egg, and that's generally my lunch, or around something like that, or some leftovers, but I try to be like more protein focused, I guess, and I'll get to that in a minute. And my dinner varies. I cook for my family and I eat what I'm cooking for them. I do meal plans, so there's, you know, generally plenty of leftovers so we can eat throughout the week, and I'm not having to cook every day, but it's generally, you know, a split between veggies and my protein. I've been pretty good about not eating junk food or anything like that. I would say the most that I did was we had a friend's birthday party we went to, had a piece of cake there. We did order a pizza, a small pizza, and I only had 1 slice out of that whole pie. But I did notice that I'm still really sensitive to carbs. When I did that, I did have a 2-pound weight gain the next day, which is kind of an inflammation response. It did come off, plus some, you know, the day after that. So I do still have to be cautious around that. Okay, as far as body movement goes, I have been going to the gym consistently at least 4 times a week. I try to split my week to get kind of all of the areas that I think are important for my health and well-being. I spend 1 day at least doing yoga. I do an intensive yoga class, Vinyasa Flow. Depending on the teacher, it depends how intense the class is. There are many things that I can do and there are many things I can't do. But the point is to just build that strength and endurance and get your cardio up a little bit when you're doing your Vinyasa Flow. I like to also have 1 day a week for recovery type class or recovery yoga. So lately I've been trying to get to yin yoga in the morning on Mondays. If I cannot do that, it's fine. I just do some stretching at home, but get to my Vinyasa Flow around Wednesday or Thursday, I think. The other days of the week I spend between cardio, strength, flexibility. So what I'm doing is I spend about 20 minutes on the elliptical, and then I will do sometimes 10 minutes of walking. I will do a few minutes on the rower, and then I will spend the rest of the duration doing some strength training exercises, working on different areas of my body. So trying to get at least 40 minutes of exercise in at the gym 4 days a week. I'm also walking a little bit in the evenings. I'll be honest, I have not been doing a lot of that. I've been just doing the gym stuff, and that is enough for me. So I'm really enjoying that. I have had to pull it back a little bit because there are times that I have been pushing my body too hard, and I do have physical challenges due to a severe injury many years ago, as I've mentioned. So I have hurt myself before as far as like just feeling worse later. I've been having a lot of shoulder pain lately. I'm not sure what that's about. My hip has been bothering me a little bit less, I think, since I've been building more of that flexibility and strength with yoga. But I listen to my body. So that is the biggest thing. If there is a day where after I work out that I can't go to the gym because I've really hurt myself, like I'm limping around or something like that, I give myself permission to nix it, because it's not out of laziness. It is out of necessity to recover. Between that and the chronic fatigue that I still deal with, it's a challenge, but I also want to do it. I feel good when I work out. I want to get stronger. I want to feel better. It's not just about the weight loss. It's about just feeling good in my body physically, so I'm not in so much pain on a daily basis. So some of my other health stuff. I did have labs done recently, and good news, my cholesterol went down. It is normal. It's the lowest it's ever been, probably. I think it was around 165 or 170. But my HDL was a little low, and your HDL should be higher, your LDL should be lower. So, and that's just because I'm not really eating a lot of fats. So I need to add in some healthier fats to my diet, as far as like avocados and stuff like that, or even some seeds, maybe some healthy things to add into smoothies or add to my oatmeal, and try to get that balanced a little bit better. Also, my protein was low, so that was really a big sign for me that I have not been being protein focused and not getting enough protein into my diet. So to kind of counteract that, I have been doing the collagen peptides that I mentioned in my decaf coffee, so at least I get that in the morning as part of my breakfast. So I've got my decaf coffee with the collagen peptides protein in there, and then I will also use about half a container of the Premier Protein Vanilla as my creamer, and that's my breakfast. I should have mentioned that when I was talking about my meals, but so I've been trying to focus on that so I can get a little bit more protein. If I'm going to the gym, when I come home, it's time for lunch, and I definitely make sure I have some eggs or some other form of protein. If it's not the eggs and the English muffin that I talked about, and I try to get in like a protein shake and just have some whey protein with some almond milk in it. And that's kind of satisfies me until it's time for dinner. The other thing that showed up in my lab was my thyroid. So this was a big thing. My thyroid medication had to be dropped down by half. So I was taking a high dose of Armour Thyroid before that to keep my thyroid level, and I had to drop that in half. So I have been experiencing a lot more fatigue, and my naturopath did really believe that it's just from the medication drop. It's a good thing because that shows my thyroid has improved, at least for now. You never really know with Hashimoto's disease. It's kind of funky. Sometimes you can be hypo and sometimes you can be hyper, but it's good, that I dropped my medication in half. But what's bad is I'm feeling so tired, and she just thinks that my body just needs to adjust, because it's kind of like I went from this high dose of thyroid and now I got dropped down. So hopefully we'll see within the next week. I'm supposed to let her know if I'm still having kind of those severe issues. It's hard to monitor some days. So what are some challenges I feel have presented themselves since last time we spoke? Well, I've had some emotional difficulties in regards to some family loss, starting with my dog, who I mentioned in one of my other videos that we had to put down. He was he was getting older, and he was suffering just so badly. And then I've also lost some family members, so that's been emotionally challenging as well. I would say one of the physical challenges is, as I've mentioned, is my body protests. I have the drive to work out and go to the gym, but because of my physical limitations, it stops me sometimes, or at least slows me down slower than I want to go. If I push myself too hard, I also definitely have more fatigue, and I can't be just sleeping all day with my little one. Sometimes I get a nap in with her, but more often than not, she's not napping these days. So that means mommy has to stay up most of the time too. Another challenge is also that my body still responds aggressively if I am not eating healthfully. So it's frustrating because I think there was a big part of me that thought that that would maybe change a little bit for me, but no, if I still have, that half a piece of pizza or that cake at the party, I am still going to have a weight gain the next day. So it's very challenging. It's very frustrating in that way for me because there's so many people that I know that I've known my whole life. And I know you guys out there know what I'm talking about. There's that person that just eats like all day long and they maybe don't eat anything healthy, just eating a ton of crap, and they're thin as a rail. And here you are like constantly dieting and watching everything that goes in your mouth, and you can be struggling. So it's it is what it is. We have to appreciate our bodies for what they are, what they've given us, that they've kept us alive this long, and just be gentle with ourselves while pushing forward outside of our comfort zones sometimes. And I say these things because I have to remind myself of this, right? We all have to remind ourselves of these things. So just trying to be gentle with myself, push myself, but not push myself so hard that I am unable to continue my regimen. And I think I'm getting to a really good place. I've really been planning my week out well and just going with that. So in regards to moving forward, that's kind of it, following my plan, continuing to count my blessings and my wins. Don't be so hard on myself if I mess up or if the scale doesn't move. I'm doing really good about weighing myself mostly once a week instead of every day like I was before. So that's an improvement. And also on continuing meal planning for my week because that just makes such an impact. And again, you guys can check out that video if you're interested on how I make that doable. But I just want to say thank you to all of you out there who have been so supportive and watch my channel. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave me a comment below, or you can reach me directly through my website, emailing me. I hope everyone's doing great out there, and I will be talking to you guys later. Bye.